My name is Dan Hayes. I'm the president of Creative Laundry. We have been in the laundry business, servicing apartments, condominiums for close to 30 years now. One of the persistent problems with laundry is broken wash machine hoses. State Farm reports that broken hoses cost the insurance industry $170 million a year. These are all avoidable losses. And that $170 million figure does not begin to cover the time, the aggravation, and the loss of goods that can never be replaced because of sentimental value. That is just what the insurance company pays out. Now, I'm going to show you why hoses fail, and then I'm going to show you the solution, which is FloodCheck hoses. They are available, and the problem will go away. Let's start with the common black hose. All hoses are assembled from essentially four parts. You have a rubber tube, you have an insert, which is a metal piece that goes inside that rubber tube, a ferrule, which goes on the outside and then is crimped to hold the rubber, and the swivel, which is your fourth part, together. If you want to take it one step further, the tube itself on a black hose has an inner tube, it has a layer of polyester reinforcing, and then a coating that goes on the outside of the tube. Right? Most hose failures occur right here. On the black hose, what happens is that the insert is a very sharp-edged when in manufacturing. It's also a bimetal fitting, so the electrolysis on the bimetal and the honing action of water sharpens that to a razor-sharp edge, and they call this razoring. If you ever watched a wash machine hose, it pulses up and down. And when that edge is very sharp, as the hose pulses, it literally cuts the hose from the inside out. Now you'll get the water will hit that polyester reinforcement, and you may get a bubble anywhere along the length of the hose, but the break occurred right here. Second major cause of failure, you'll notice that there's a single pressure point where the ferrule is scrunching the rubber and holding it to the insert. As I turn this over, you get a stress fracture because the rubber deteriorates and you get a break right in here. The third, which is probably the worst failure, is it's such a cheap fitting that it rusts and these things literally blow apart. In the commercial laundry business, we buy these for $1.50, $1.75 a length. Gives you an idea of how cheaply made they are. The second type of hose that's touted out there as being a superior hose is a steel-clad stainless steel. Sometimes it's got a nylon coating on the outside. They have some other design faults. To begin with, you've got dissimilar materials. You've got this slick metal, and then you've got either a rubber or a plastic substrate, which is actually holding the water in. The one benefit to these is when they do break, the steel mesh keeps the water from spraying out in your hand, so it's easier to turn off, but they don't give you any more protection. The critical element here is if you look at where the crimp is, in order to hold these two dissimilar materials together, you have to use such an aggressive crimp that that insert practically severs the water-holding material in the manufacturing process. Now, these are sold widely for toilet and faucet supply. And for there, they're not bad because you're not getting the flexing action. Now remember that our problem with washers is that it flexes up and down every time that water turns on and off. If you've got a front-loading washer, the action is even more severe because it measures the amount of water and you'll get 5 or 6 pulses on a fill. So these look nice and they're pretty, but they don't offer much more protection than the black hose. Now here is a cutaway of the FloodCheck hose. This is without a doubt the finest hose on the market. If you look at it, and I'm going to pull these other two over, the amount of brass that's in it on the insert, 4 times as much. This is cartridge quality brass so that you're never going to have the electrolysis problem. I'll peel this back for just a minute. You see that it's squared at the end, so you're never going to get a cutting action on this. It's that much thicker. Because the insert is so massive, we can use a ferrule that is crimped along the entire length. So we don't have a single pressure point on this hose. In fact, as I turn this over, the hose is flared so that the ferrule isn't digging into the hose. Okay? The last thing on this is if you look at the amount of material in the hose itself. It's got twice the rubber, twice the reinforcement, and it is simply the most overbuilt hose on the market. A little story on how the FloodChek hose happened to get developed. The reason it is the most overbuilt hose on the market was that the man who developed it had no intention of being in the hose business. He was a property manager in Hawaii. He had 4 26-story luxury high-rises with booster pumps to keep the pressure up. And when a hose broke in his building, it was an average $40,000 flood because it would wipe out 5, 10 units at a time. So Steve got together with one of the hose executives from the largest hose manufacturer in the country and said, I want the problem to go away. And every time they told him how to make this hose more cost-effective, more marketable, he said, nuts to you, I want the problem to go away. I want the best hose on the market, which is why FloodChek still has a 20-year warranty, has had it for the last 30 years. I've been selling them for 25 and we've never had a claim. If you would like information on pricing, how to install it, how to organize an installation program, if you're in a condominium or a homeowners association, email me at hayes@creativelaundry.com, Google Creative Laundry or FloodChek hoses. Thank you.